Hello, my beautiful witches. Blessed be. This is WhiteRaven over here. Today's Monday, so happy Magic Monday to all of you guys. Welcome to the Witch's Lair, witches. This is WhiteRaven over here, and I welcome you if you are new to this channel. I am extremely excited to be here today because I'm going to be talking to you guys about something that is so dear to me. And I know a lot of you guys want me to talk about it today, and that is my Gypsy. I just finally, after so many years of wanting to have this beautiful statue of a Gypsy, I finally got it, and I want to share with you all about gypsies, or at least a glimpse on gypsies and what do they represent in magic, right? And particularly in Espiritismo. I'm going to share with you some of the books that I use that I recommend for you to get if you want to know a little bit more about working with gypsies. And a little bit of my experiences with the one and only the Gypsy. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a Gypsy spell to call upon your loved one. Most of you guys know that I am Puerto Rican, and many years ago, I got together with a group of Espiritistas, and I used to visit with these friends very often. Very unconventionally, and probably the complete wrong way to go about this. They gave me my spiritual chart, mi cuadro espiritual. Now, I have shared with you guys that I'm a witch. You guys know I am a witch, and I do not practice any type of religion. I don't practice Santeria because a lot of people think that I practice Santeria, and I do not practice Espiritismo. However, I have developed throughout the year a lot of love for the spirits that were assigned to me very unconventionally so many years ago. I have shared with you my Madama. I have shared with you my Indians. And today I'm going to share with you another one of my most beloved spirits, which is La Gitana, the Gypsy. I'm going to share with you some of the books that you can read if you want to learn a little bit more about Espiritismo. First book that I wanted to suggest to you guys is my dear friend Sancista Brujo Luis' book Luz y Progreso, and also the book by the very talented young author Hector Salva, Espiritismo, Puerto Rican Mediumship and Magic. And this is a book that I'm going to do a review on. It's already done, I just have to publish it, but here's the book. This is another book that is going to talk to you about the Gypsy as spiritual allies in your chart. Believe it or not, a lot of the information that I got on gypsies, more history, more like in depth with gypsies, came from this book from Raymond Buckland, Gypsy, Witchcraft and Magic. Really nice book. I recommend for you to get this book. It's really nice. It's not a spell book, but it's going to give you history of the Romani people and also some spells and some ideas that are going to ignite your brain to make your own spells with gypsy magic. Last but not least, Denise Alvarado also have a little booklet that I really like. It's very petite in comparison with all of Denise Alvarado's books. Is this one, Gypsy, Wisdom, Spells, Charms, and Folklore. And I had these books for so many years. This one and Raymond Buckland I have for so many years. And believe it or not, I have shared with you guys spells from here, from the one from Denise Alvarado. So this is a little book that if you are into gypsy magic, this is something that you can get to. So before I introduce you to my beautiful gypsy lady that I finally got, I want to talk to you guys about who are gypsies. Well, gypsies are a group of tribes that used to live in the north part of India. And back in the year 800, and this is at the same time of the Vikings, so you can have a perspective of how long ago this was. Back in the year 800, for a reason that nobody knows until today, they decided to leave their land and go nomad. And they have been loved because, you know, the image of the gypsy has been romanticized a lot. But they also have been persecuted and prosecuted. And they still endure witches. They have survived so much prosecution and persecution. So let me tell you a little bit about the etymology of the word gypsy. Once they left northern India, they traveled across Pakistan, Afghanistan, Persia, and eventually they reached Egypt. Now, by the time they reached Europe, most people used to call them the Egyptians because of the color of their skin and the colorful of their dresses, right? They were always so colorful and their skin was a little bit darker. So most European called them Egyptians. And then the name got smaller to Gyptian, and then it got even smaller to Gypsy. So that is the name that we know them by, at least here in the Western world, right? Gitanos in Spanish. But that is pretty much the etymology of this word. It comes pretty much from the word Egyptian, because most people thought that they were Egyptian. But now we know that they're never been Egyptian. They're a group of nomad people that came from the north of India. Speaking of gypsies being persecuted and prosecuted, I want to add in this video that in World War II, the Germans under Hitler regime killed hundreds of thousands of gypsies right along with the Jews. So some of the people that was part of the Holocaust was the Romani people, the Gypsy people, and they were killed by the hundreds of thousands. Some numbers that are out there, I'm not saying that these are the correct amount of people. It could have been less, it could have been more. It's about 1.5 million Gypsies were killed in World War II by the Germans. Okay, so back. So after they left northern India and they went through all those countries that they went through, and then they end up in Egypt, they came all the way to Europe. And they reached Spain by the year 1417. That is the 13th century. It's like how long ago this was. In the year 1493, Christopher Columbus discovered Puerto Rico and Borinquen, and this is when the influence of Gypsy folklore and Gypsy people started in the island. There are two very popular Gypsy females in the island. One of them is Esmeralda and the other one is Salome. We have seen Esmeralda in some Disney movies. So I suggest for you to check it out. Esmeralda and Salome, I'm going to write the names in the screen of the video so you can check it out yourself. And I invite you, witches, if you're going to be working with the spirits and the influence of the Gypsy, you need to honor them. And the way you honor them is by acknowledging their story and by knowing their story. You have to comprehend what you're working with. If you want help from the spiritual world, we have to take the time and we have to make an effort to get to know who are we working with and acknowledge them. You have to acknowledge them. This is how we keep them alive. This is how we keep this presence going from generation to generation. If you start working with spirits without knowing who are they, where do they come from, then in the future your kids or the kids of your kids will just going to do what you did but not necessarily know what they're doing. So please make sure that if you start working with the energy of any Gypsy, know who they are, acknowledge who they are, and do your own research. Okay, very important. Obviously it was destined for Gypsies to become one of the spirit guides in Puerto Rican Espiritismo. As a matter of fact, I want to tell you the right name for a Gypsy witch is Shivani. If you want to make it a little bit smaller, you can say Shivani or Shuni. As a matter of fact, I'm definitely naming my Gypsy Shivani. A curious fact that I want to share with you is that back in 1989, 1990, while living in Argentina, I have the experience of seeing Gypsy women dress in their complete costume with the skirts and the jewelry and the medallions and all that stuff, the coins and all that stuff. I think I was very blessed and I was very lucky to be able to presence a Gypsy, a real Gypsy in my lifetime more than once. and I am grateful for that experience that I have in life. Nowadays, here living in Northern Virginia, I actually encounter gypsies. There's a community of gypsies here where I live. I got to meet some of those gypsies, or at least encounter some of those gypsies, and unfortunately they look like you and me, and they're pretty amazing. They're extremely good looking people, and they're very good at what they do. Please let me know if you have encountered any gypsy where you live, and how's your experience. So if we decide to use the spirit of the gypsy, what are they good for? Well, back in the time when the gypsies were traveling across the world, the male gypsies, the men, they were really good at horse trading, and they were also very good at working with metal. Females usually were the ones doing all the divination. They used to tell you your future. So if you want to work with a gypsy, please understand that they are extremely good at anything that has to do with divination, particularly la baraja española, is Spanish cards, or your tarot. They are palm readers. They're also good at tea leaves reading, pendulums, and 100% scrying. Anything that has to do with reading the crystal ball, that is 100% gypsy attributes. How do they aid us? Well, gypsies are extremely good assisting you with love. Whenever you're going to work with love, it is a great idea for you to invoke or work with the spirit of a gypsy. They are also very good for whenever you need to work against the evil eye. As a matter of fact, many people were so scared of the gypsies back in the day that they all thought that the gypsy will come with the evil eye. So if you need to work with some type of guide against the evil eye, the gypsy will be a great ally to help you in that process. They're great to use when it comes to money matters, lottery, gambling, games, all that stuff. They're absolutely amazing to call upon. And last but not least, we all know that gypsies were great performers. If you need any help, you are a performer and you need help in that aspect of your life, maybe you want to work with a gypsy spirit. They will help you get to where you want to go. Offerings. When it comes to offerings, you want to give your gypsy some divination tools. Specifically the Baraja Española, and also any type of tarot decks. They also like crystal balls, they like scrying mirrors, they like pendulums, etc., etc. Another thing that gypsy loves, they love hard liquor. Males and females, they love hard liquor. And they also absolutely love cigars. Female gypsies are well known for smoking cigars. They do smoke cigars, and also the pipe. So if you want to give a good offerings to any of your gypsies, please make sure to add that into your list of offerings. Also perfumes. Gypsy females particularly, they love champagne. Make sure that you give them trinkets like crystals, jewelry, lipsticks, makeup, all that stuff gypsy females like. I mean, if you're working with a guy, I suggest for you to study the guys a little bit more. Last, fans. They love fans. Okay, so make sure that you give them some fans. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my beautiful Shivani. So this is my beautiful gypsy, my beautiful Shivani. I am so honored to have her at home with me. This is something that I've been waiting for way too long to finally get her. It's a very emotional experience to have her finally with me. I cannot explain with words what her presence is adding into my magical realm. I feel it is something that I can sense and I can feel in my skin. And this is a beautiful statue. At least it's a bust, so meaning it's from her waist up. She came with this beautiful crystal ball. She has beautiful painted nails. She has jewelry. She has coins all over her head. She has beautiful jewelry also in her shirt. And she's really well made. Listen, witches, she's a statue and she's probably made in China. Okay? But it doesn't matter where she's made. It doesn't matter where she was before she came into your hands. What matters is the way you treat her and how you charge her. So I'm extremely happy to have her with me. You can make your own. It doesn't have to be this one, but I'm extremely happy to have her, and I really want to share this with you. Another thing that I want to share with you is my deck of Barajas Españolas. I put some already in the website. I know many of you guys don't know what is all this, but these are called briscas or Barajas Españolas, Spanish cards, playing cards. These are sacred to the Gypsy, and this is part of my growing up. So this is something that really pertains to me. It may not pertain to you, right? The right way for you to storage these cards, you want to put them in some silk fabric. So I got this silk handkerchief. It's black. Black is going to protect any type of energies entering my cards. And after I put them in that black silk handkerchief, I'm going to put them inside this little box. Now, I definitely going to put this box in front of my Gypsy. But first, I'm going to decorate this in a very Gypsy way. I may do a video with you guys and I'll show you how I decorate it. The box that I purchased today. And I'm going to put my cards in there and I'm going to share with you whatever it is that I do with this box. I cannot wait. I think I'm going to do some embossing and some other stuff, but I definitely going to make this box look 10 out of 10. So stay tuned. I'll share that video with you guys. I'm really excited about this. And if you want some of these barajas, I have some. They're very economic. And I have some in my website, WhiteRaven, and witcheslair.com. Now, witches, I told you I have a spell for you guys. It's a Gypsy spell for you to call upon the person that you love. If you have this person that you really love and you guys are talking, but you're not talking, things are really cold, and you really want this person, well, this is a spell for you to call that person to you right away. And we're going to be using the help of the Gypsy. If you don't have a Gypsy, just print a picture. Okay? Just print a picture. You don't need to have the one that I have. Just print a picture and have it close by when you're in this spell. So let's get into it. Okay, witches, so let me show you what you're going to need for this spell. It's going to be very easy, I promise. You're going to need some sugar. Okay, so just regular sugar. You're going to need a white candle. You don't necessarily need to use this one right here. Just get any white candle that you like. You are going to need spring water. So I understand that we don't live next to a spring. You can go to the supermarket and you can buy spring water because they do sell spring water in the supermarket. If you don't have it in your supermarket, then just use any water that you have. You are going to need something pointed for you to carve the name of the person that you want in that candle. I have my little glass. Believe it or not, these were actually calligraphy pens, but they don't work very well. So I love the way I can use them for carving names in my candles. For this particular spell, witches, I'm going to be using one of my dry roses. And if you have one, you can use it. It doesn't have to be a rose like this. If you have just rose petal, then just use rose petals. Okay, witches, so you're going to get a container and you're going to fill it with your spring water. And to that container, we're going to add some sugar. I think I'm going to add about 2 scoops of sugar. Okay. And to that sugar, I'm going to add my rose. So I'm just going to break it. If this is like a rose that the person gave you, even better. I mean, it could be that you have that rose at home. I gotta tell you something, which is this is also really great if you want to do a love bath. You can add sugar or honey into your bathtub and some rose petals. What we're going to do now, we're going to mix this, which is it's really important that while you're mixing this, you are thinking about that person. Okay, get your hands wet, feel the water. Infuse yourself, and at the same time infuse this water with your petition, with your intentions, with your wish, with what you want. And get your candle, put it over here, and we are going to bathe this candle with this water. Okay, don't be shy, witches. Just wash your candle with this water. This smells so good because my roses, they smell so good. I put, when my roses are dry, I always put essential oils on them. So you cannot imagine how beautiful this smells, witches. Okay, witches, in a different container, you want to have some more of that spring water and just rinse your candle. Okay. Rinse the candle. If you're planning to do more spells for this person, I recommend for you to keep this water. You can boil it a little bit and maybe strain it, or you can just leave it like that and give yourself a bath with this. Just don't throw it away. Use it for something. If you have no use for it, then just throw it away in your backyard, into Mother Nature. Give it to Mother Nature. Okay, witches, so the idea is now for you to put this candle outside under the full moon. And you're going to let it dry. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to grab anything that is pointy and you're going to write down the name of the person in the candle. Whoever it is that you want to come to you. Just make sure that the name goes across. Once you do that, we are going to put some sugar around this candle. There you go. And remember, witches, we're going to be doing this outside in the full moon or in the waxing of the moon, which means when the moon is getting bigger. She's a little bit wet. And this is the chant that we're going to chant. But you need to visualize this, okay, witches? If you have a picture of your gypsy, put it close by and chant your chant and visualize what you want, witches. You have to visualize. So and so, come to me. You're going to repeat that. Look at the light in your candle and repeat it. So and so, come to me. So and so, come to me. And I need you to, while you're saying this, you're going to gaze at this candle. Remember, the gypsies were extremely good at scrying, and you can scry fire. So make sure you see the vision in your fire. Keep chanting, so and so, come to me, and visualize it, witches. Visualize it. Okay, witches, once your candle is completely consumed, you want to throw that remnants in a river that is coming towards you. Now, I understand that not all of us have rivers coming towards us. So plant this underneath a beautiful flower tree or some type of plant that really inspires you. That's it, witches. Thank you so very much for being here with me one more Monday. I hope this information is useful to you. I hope you get inspired with the gypsy and maybe you start researching the gypsy spirit yourself and you add that into your magical realm. Please remember that if you have any questions, to email me at lairofthewitch@yahoo.com. Please remember that I also have a beautiful website with products that you can get right away. I only ship to the United States. It's WhiteRaven and witcheslair.com. Also, I am in Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. So go ahead and check me out and subscribe. Witches, in this world, we need to be so very smart. I keep telling you that knowledge is power. The more you know, the more powerful you become. But above all, witches, because in this world, you must stay so very weekend. Bye.